Hi, my name is Jerry. I'm the maker at One-Eyed Raven Leather, and I'm going to try to demonstrate today how to make a rattlesnake braid. Hopefully this audio doesn't come out terrible. You have to forgive me, all I got's my camera phone, or my phone. So what I've got here is 1/8 kangaroo lace, and I got this from Why Not Lace. It's pre-cut. I did there it is. I did bevel it myself, just because it doesn't come beveled, it comes cut square. So I beveled it. You can, at this point, if you're going to use this braid for a project, I would recommend braiding soap at this point, or at least after you get it cut. At some point before you start the braid, I would, braiding soap. The way we're going to cut this, the way I was taught, the guy that taught me used an old-timer pocket knife and a pair of needle nose hemostats. I do not have those things. What I have is my scalpel. I have this skiving knife, and I have my fid. One of these days I'll eventually learn how to use this camera. So I hope you guys forgive me for the terrible video quality, because this is the first time I've tried to make a tutorial video of any kind. Well, second time, technically. Alright, so when we cut this lace, I'm going to take this corner is going to touch this side of the lace, and this corner is going to touch this side of the lace. And the reason we do that is so we get this nice narrow, long angle on that leather, and you're going to want that. I suppose you could use lacing needles. You could probably use some lacing needles to do this. I don't use them just because you need 3 of them, and I feel like you'd get to the end and wouldn't be able to get all the way to the end of whatever you're doing, which may or may not be an issue for you, depending on your project. Anyway, so we're going to cut a really nice, let me get some length here. We're going to cut a really nice angle here. And you can use, I've only done 3 strands so far. I imagine you could do 4. I feel like you'd be pushing it to do any more than that, especially on 1/8 inch lace. Alright, now we got our lace. Now, for this next part, if your cutting board or wherever you're cutting, well, you're going to be cutting, has a nice corner on it, that's going to work really great for you. Mine has a bevel here. It's kind of rounded on the end, so it doesn't give me what I need, right? And I'm going to need to be right up against the edge of my finger. So I use the edge of my workbench, my work desk. It's a workbench, it's not an office bench for me anyway. You use what works best for you. I'll show you why you need a pretty steep corner right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get directly in the middle of that piece of lace. And stab a hole through it. And you're going to cut right. Well, that went off to one side. You don't want that to happen. The goal is to get right in the middle and keep it there in the middle. You risk breaking otherwise. We're going to try it again. Get right in the middle. Without stabbing yourself. Yikes. You can push it, but I notice that it folds like that and I can't really see what I'm doing. So I try to pull it from the bottom and cut upward. This also gives me the opportunity to kind of turn it if I need to. If I see them going off to one side, I can adjust it by looking at it this way. So I got, where are we at? So now I got the slit here. And I will go over that again because I'm not sure I got that on camera. So now we take our fid and we stretch that, or we open that up a little bit. And slide our piece of lace through there. Now you're going to notice it's going to go sideways on you at first, but once you get like 2 or 3 in, it really won't be that big of a deal. Now we're going to slide our next piece in through the same hole. Where are we at? All right. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this in frame. Again, not a good cameraman. I'm going to try to keep that straight right here. All right, now we got that going. You're going to take the top strand and separate it from the bottom two. And I like to hold it like this because it gives me, you're going to take the top strand here and your bottom 2 strands, you're going to roll them over your finger. I like to hold them like this. This gives me a good hold. And this is why you want kind of a sharp corner. Because we're gonna go to our V right here that we made in the top piece, and we're gonna lay that right in the middle, as long as it's right in the middle of the lace. And we're gonna pierce it. And then we're gonna drag it up and cut it. This also, again, this is where I have the opportunity, if I see it drifting off to one side or the other, I can turn my lace and make it go straight. And you want the slit, you'll figure it out, the more you do this, you'll figure it out about how wide you need it. I think that's a little bit longer than this is wide, but not by much. you take that fid and you try not to do that. And I got this end. Where am I at? I got this end too short to work with it comfortably, I guess. But this is just a practice piece. There we go. And I think it's important to note, I am no master braider. I am just starting out. But I learned this braid, and a lot of people showed some interest. And I like to share what I know. Also, I like to teach. It's the only thing I like better than leatherwork. And I love leatherwork. And you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. Alright, so now we got that. And the next step, I'm going to wrap that around. I'm going to leave that top strand hanging out there. And I'm going to go right down the middle of those V's. See where I am? And if it's not in the middle of the V's, because it's only the second one, I'm going to make sure my blade is in the middle of that strand. Pierce it and slice. And I see I'm drifting off a little bit. There we go. And we widen that hole. Now, I think it's important to note that if somebody like me with these big dumb fingers can do this, I'm fairly certain anybody can do this. Anything I can do, you can do better. And you still can't see what I'm doing. Look at that. Again, sorry for the poor camera skills. So now we got that. And one more again. Drag that up. The important thing is to stay in the middle of your strand. That is the key to making this look really, really pretty. That and the beveled edges. I did this the very first time I did this, I didn't bevel the leather. And it looked okay, but it didn't look, but when I beveled it and did it again, or beveled the string and did it again, it looked way better, just way better. And now, again, so as you go along, you just want to make sure that you're keeping everything nice and straight. And you're going to use those V's as kind of like a sight to aim your blade. And if it's off a little bit, well, you just have to move your blade over a little bit. You can see I'm using this to try to stay in the middle of my braid. Turn it when I have to. Now it's obviously going to be better if you can just keep one straight line versus making a curved line, because that's going to make this side and this side of your braid here, it's going to make it uneven. So while correcting it is acceptable, while correcting the cut and making a kind of a curved cut, the goal is to try to make it straight, and that will make a big difference in how pretty your braid looks when you're done. And this is kind of where I think needles might be advantageous, because that starts to curl up right there. It makes it hard to get through that. But I am hard-headed. And therefore I don't. And that, dear friends, is a rattlesnake braid. I hope this was informative for you. You know, there we go. I hope this was informative for you. I really hope to see some of you guys' braids. You know, show them off. Do you a couple and practice and show them off. Thanks for your time. I hope this helps.